Welcome to another episode of Email Beyond Revenue. Today I have a special guest joining me, Jesse. Jesse is the guy over at HiTide, a super interesting tool that has taken the market by storm. I'm just quickly going to look at the website here because I love what you guys are doing on the homepages. Social SMS list growth, moving beyond the typical store pop-up. Jesse, we're going to have a great chat here, and thanks so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, tell the audience members here, what is HiTide? What are we looking at here? What's the vision, the growth, your target audience? Tell us a little bit more about what you guys stand for.
Absolutely. So, in short, HiTide is a software for Shopify, really for any e-commerce, but mostly focusing on Shopify, that helps brands acquire new SMS and email opt-ins extremely efficiently on social. So think Instagram, Facebook, etc. And the way that HiTide works is we're actually a message automation platform. So we enable brands to send short, to the point direct messages to their social followers to encourage them to opt into email and SMS, and to do that compliantly. So brands will come to us, brands that are already doing email and SMS. They have effective retention and or marketing programs through those channels. And on the other side of the fence, they have social followings. Doesn't have to be huge, but they have some sort of a social following. And we help bridge the gap between those two kind of audiences to help turn more followers and engaged people on social media into the owned channels of SMS and email and drive more revenue.
All in that nutshell, appreciate the summary. We'll go into the nitty-gritty things, on this call. We've had the privilege of seeing the back end of the tool ourselves as an agency. And, speaking to a lot of these, e-commerce teams and founders, no one has explored how to tap into your social following to help you drive your SMS and email list growth. So excited to be going into some of these questions in detail.
Yeah.
In saying that, let's start at the very top here. Why do you believe social channels is the new front door for email and SMS list growth? We know, like I've just told you, is everybody is so focused on the store pop-up. Why do you think more D2C teams should hone their focus in other areas when it comes to list growth, specifically social channels?
So there has not been a lot of list growth innovation outside of pop-up innovation. In fact, there hasn't been a lot of pop-up innovation until recently. We saw Amped and Alia come in the last year and a half, 2 years as kind of reinventing and re-energizing the pop-up, and doing so to a degree that has driven pretty remarkable results for some of the brands using those solutions. The reason that happened is that there's been kind of this pendulum swing for brands, especially in the Shopify ecosystem, where many have gotten kind of the fundamentals of SMS and email laid, the foundations laid in the last couple of years, probably with the help of agencies like yourself, and just kind of general education and big pushes by Klaviyo and Attentive and Postscript and the whole ecosystem. So a couple of years ago, many brands were still kind of evaluating SMS in particular as a new channel, and or dialing in their email programs and understanding how to drive real revenue from these owned channels. And more recently, as these brands have kind of gotten the basics down, many of them are saying, all right, I have a great program. I just need more SMS opt-ins. I just need more emails in my list. And the focus has shifted, at least part of the focus, to finding new ways to get new subscribers onto those lists. So what we're excited about is kind of in parallel, but disconnected in a way. Many brands have built, both through ads and organic community building, really fantastic social followings of devoted and or, at the minimum, interested consumers who are, at the very least, slightly familiar with the brand, maybe want to buy something. But these two channels are completely disconnected. And there's a kind of this increasing imperative for brands that have, especially the brands that have really great social followings, to be able to reach those people outside of just paid ads and just, organic posts. So we focus in this area. We say, all right, you would think that most of those people that are following you on social are already subscribed to your SMS or email list. And the reality is they're probably not. There's probably a portion that are, but many of them probably are not. And because those people have already kind of raised their hand as interested in the brand and are following you and probably slightly educated about your products, we want to make sure that we can move them into your owned channel and do so efficiently. And so this messaging platform that we've built is a way to do that. That's better than any other way to do that. And it's kind of what we live and breathe.
Which brings me to the next question here. Now, you talk about, a couple of key things here. People building, a loyal following on the social channels. And we have looked at, especially the skincare brands, they rack up huge amount of social followings. Mm-hmm. And we have approached prospects and current clients in the past to try and convince them to tap into social following, social channels to drive their SMS and email list growth. Mm-hmm. And the unfortunate case is that the conversation always swerves back to their store pop-up design, messaging, incentive. Mm-hmm. Why do you think people are so obsessed with, their current pop-up design copy? And if we can't get them to move away from being so focused on just that landscape, what are the opportunity cost involved, or the potential risk of not shifting focus in the social sphere when it comes down to list growth?
Yeah, it's a great question. Great question. So we view the world of social list growth as basically having two main kind of strategies. The first strategy is taking what exists in your pop-up already and moving those offers into social. So, for example, taking the pop-up offer of a mystery discount and making sure that that offer is present on your Instagram profile, maybe in your bio, maybe in an icebreaker button, maybe in a pinned post. We call these evergreen campaigns. And the nice thing about those types of campaigns are, to answer your question specifically, they're really just taking what these brands have already learned via the pop-up and porting them over to basically the brand's second website, which is their Instagram profile, the place where many consumers will meet the brand for the first time, maybe even visit more frequently than the website. And so in that sense, we're totally complementary. Brands will have focused on the pop-up, hopefully have dialed it in, know what messaging works, and that messaging should simply be ported over to social to do its job in an ongoing basis. The second bit is a little harder, and this kind of probably gets to one of your questions about social growth versus focusing time on pop-ups. The way that social kind of feeds and content publishing works, there's a bunch of stuff that will work really well for social that doesn't necessarily work for a pop-up. So to give you a really specific example, if a brand is teasing out a new product that they're dropping, maybe educating the audience on, let's use a beauty brand, for example. We're launching a new formula of our product and it's coming next week. Or we're restocking on the most popular scent of our, lip balm. Kind of probably pretty common examples. Social is often the best place to do short bursts of list growth around very specific campaigns or concepts. So to tie it all together, the beauty brand, this fictional case that we're talking about here, they're launching their new lip balm or restocking their most popular item. That should be a story. That should be a post. It probably already is. But what's been missing is the brands are not proactively asking people to sign up for an alert when the product is available or when the product is restocking. And that doesn't live as well as a pop-up because you probably want to kind of leave your existing well-tuned, well-dialed pop-up on your website with the mystery offer or 10% off or monthly giveaway entry or whatever's working already. But on social, you can rapidly publish content that's actually about the biggest priority in that calendar month or maybe even that week and drive a lot of opt-ins. So, for example, we had a protein company we work with called Seek, SEEQ. They're a really amazing, really fast-growing brand, protein brand, and they publish, or I should say, produce different flavors of this protein. Their kind of differentiation is they don't carry any like chocolatey, vanilla flavors. Their flavors are like cherry, watermelon, like fun, clear proteins for people that work out a lot at the gym. They sold out of this watermelon flavor early on. They published a post with HiTide that asked people to sign up if they wanted a notification when that product was back. Sure. And they ended up getting like 50% of the people that signed up were net new SMS subscribers that were not already subscribed to their to their SMS list. And if I recall, more than half of those people ended up purchasing within, a week or two of the drop. So that's all about putting something in front of people that would already, otherwise miss it, and tuning an offer that works really well for social and can be a fantastic list growth to complement the pop-up.
Got it. Very sound strategy. I haven't thought about that exactly. From my viewpoint, I thought it was a case of you take what you currently have on the store, 15% off, you plonk that straight onto your social channels, send people DMs, off you go. So I do like the tactic of keeping it fresh, keeping it exciting, keeping it relevant.
Yeah. And most brands do both.
Social is exactly like you say. It is a very fast-moving, vibrant space, which begs the question: are we innovative and exciting enough with our, list growth and pop-up? Like you say, the store is fine. Keep it generic. It's good. Social, it's a platform to bring that innovation forward and to really hit those, those campaign fluctuations and relevance, in a much bigger way.
Exactly. The cool thing is most of these campaigns are already planned, and it's just adding on a component of list growth to it. So they're dropping a new product. They're doing a post about it, almost certainly. If they aren't, I don't know what they're doing, but they're probably doing a drop post, hyping it up before it comes, letting the audience know it's available. We can just layer on list growth on top of those existing campaign concepts and capture really high intent people.
Beautiful. And tell me, you mentioned roughly like mystery discount. You've mentioned product drops. What are some of the incentives that you've seen work quite well on the social side of things? Because, store is very much free shipping, 15% off, maybe a free gift. And that's almost to the extent people go with their store pop-up. What are some of the things, apart from just mystery discount, that you have seen work quite well for brands in general?
Great question. So those things all also work on social. I think I'll have to check the stat on this, but if it's not the number one, it's like in the top three. Biggest campaign by total revenue over the course of like the year plus that the client has been with us is a free shipping offer. It's not sexy. It's not fancy. It's a line in their bio that says, DM us to get free shipping. Like it's pretty basic. It has a little keyword that the user has to send in. This is an eyelash brand. So it's a beauty product, low AOV, but a lot of repeat. That campaign is, one of the best we've ever seen. And it's very, quote, boring, but it's what worked on their pop-up. So they ported it over. Outside of those things, the top three are, number one, giveaways. So anything where we can do a giveaway of any size, small, medium, large, that gives people the opportunity to win something that's exciting that they, want to get a hold of. Maybe they want to purchase the, $300 cooler, but, while they think about it for the summer, hey, why not, drop my number to enter to win, this nice prize package. So the giveaway, almost every brand is running giveaways. I would say like 7 out of 10 brands do giveaways on a regular basis, and the rest are doing it like once a year. Maybe 1 in 10 brands don't do them at all. Those are fantastic list growth opportunities because you don't have to ask people to click out to a link in bio. You can just have people comment on the post. They receive a direct DM saying, hey, thanks so much for your entry or your interest to finalize or to get notification when the giveaway winner is selected, however they want to pose it. Drop your phone number and then take people through the TCPA flow right in the direct message. So giveaways are almost always one of the first campaigns that a brand will launch when they launch HiTide, usually because they're already planning one for the next month or something. Drops, we talked about drops. That's probably number 2. And then probably third, but like growing really fast, are general community engagement posts. What do I mean by that? So these are for brands that have good engagement with their audience, where people actually like having kind of conversations and comments or chiming into things. Any sort of like quiz, poll, or game type concept that you can publish. Maybe it's like, here's a really easy example. We're thinking of producing these 2 shirts next month. Which one should we do? Shirt A or shirt B? We're going to ship whichever one wins. Get people to engage in comments, and then send them something as a kind of a surprise and delight. So they've said like, hey, shirt A is dope. I love that shirt. I'm going to buy it when it comes out. They should get a DM instantly from the brand. Hey, we agree. That's a amazing shirt. By the way, if you decide to buy it, here's $5 off your next purchase. What's your phone number to send you the code? So you can enroll people in conversations and then move them into.
Does that also double down as collecting zero-party data essentially, so capturing qualitative insights, or does it not have the same purpose? Or it can, right?
It absolutely can. So one of the cool things that we have built into the platform, this is getting a bit on the technical side, but I think it's worth mentioning quickly. Whenever a user goes through a HiTide flow, and if they end up subscribing, we'll update the profile of the SMS or email provider. So your Klaviyo subscriber profile, or Postscript subscriber profile, Attentive, etc. We'll update that profile with the campaign that they triggered. So, for example, we'll have a list of everyone that liked shirt A, and we'll also have a separate list of everyone that voted for shirt B, and you can connect those people with relevant offers.
I love it. Like you say, personalization, segmentation, really great for progressive profiling if you want to enrich your profiles within Klaviyo for future campaigns and targeting, all coming from the social channels, which is so damn exciting.
Exactly.
We have that. I remember, if you remember that post we did where we did a bit of a forecast on one of the big skincare brands, if they convert or turn, I think it was 35% it was a conservative amount, 15% of their social followers into SMS or email subscribers. I think the amount was quite huge. Exactly. And if you can enrich that data even more, it's even more of a benefit to the e-commerce founders or teams.
Yeah, I think that's the way this is going to go. Like the data collection scheme that I just described, it's fairly basic, and I don't think many brands are ready to really do advanced collection of preferences outside of
we see it on the email side as well. Yep.
Yeah. Moving one of the things I'm excited about with AI is moving some of these kind of more quiz-like flows into real conversations. So when a brand is conversing with a customer, we can actually kind of understand what they need, match them with a product potentially.
Like a chatbot experience, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, the HiTide flows are fairly straightforward and short by design. So we want to do a great job of getting a TCPA compliant opt-in, but we don't really want to take much more time because we don't want to add more friction. In the future, if we are actually doing a job like helping match someone with a product, that can be a longer conversation, likely AI powered, and could do a lot for both data collection and actual conversion. So these are some of the things we're thinking about that are timely and exciting. We saw Postscript roll out their shopper platform. It was last week, and Attentive is doing some cool things in that AI space. And you have Live Recover and a bunch of other players that are really doing crazy one text. All these platforms are doing
moving fast. I know it is extremely exciting. It's almost intimidating, but we all embrace it. I think it's going to help both the service provider as well as the end consumer. So it's an exciting movement. but it's fast.
Yes. Yeah. And I guess that's part of your job, is to help sort all the noise that's going on in the space and help your customers make the right decisions, I imagine.
Exactly. Correct. So on the point of customer experience, now I do know that HiTide takes care of a lot of the technical bits and bobs on the Instagram profile, on Meta. What happens after you collect the data? Do you push it into the ESP, and then what needs to happen? Because I'm sure, teams working on this, they don't want this isolated to social media channels. Like, what happens after someone subscribes to either SMS or email?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you can think of HiTide as a bridge between Instagram and Klaviyo, for example, or Instagram and Attentive or Postscript. What I mean by bridge is when I say collect consent, we're actually moving the user into the SMS platform or email platform's consent flow, so that if you plug in your phone number and you say yes to texts and you read the TCPA language and you sign up and opt in, you now exist as a phone number in the SMS platform subscriber list. And with that comes the triggering of your welcome flow. So you'll get the texts all automatically, any kind of ongoing campaigns, and the whole experience is exactly the same after you opt in as it would be if you're in the pop-up, with one exception. If you're entering like a giveaway or like signing up for a special secret discount code or something, we can give that to you in the confirmation message in direct message as well, like after you sign in. But otherwise,
make it more frictionless. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, kind of either put it in both places or just present it right there in the direct messages. But otherwise, we're really just merging all of these high intent users into the existing workflows in the SMS and email platforms and driving more revenue by kind of getting those people onto the list. In the HiTide platform, will show you some data on how many subscribers you've gotten, how many of those are new versus existing versus, they used to be on your list and now they're back. We'll show you all that data. But the end platform is telling us whether that person is consented or not. And we can, kind of show opt-in rates that way.
That's gorgeous. And tell me your ESP compatibility, the integration. Klaviyo, of course, is Yotpo on the list. Who else
Yotpo,
do you connect with?
Yeah, Klaviyo, Yotpo, Postscript, Attentive, SendLane, and BigCo, which is an SMS platform as well.
I love it. And I think the key thing to point out here is that it's not a once-off thing. You don't just capture people on HiTide and it disappears in thin air, one ad hoc campaign. Once you've captured them on HiTide, you have that person or profile within your database, and you can market to them between now and forever, as long as they are engaging with your touch points.
That's exactly.
I think that's the exciting thing. There's a compounding effect to getting them from HiTide, like you say, the bridge, into your ESP for future campaign revenue generation.
Exactly. It's interesting, actually. Some of the subscribers will be what we call reactivated, meaning they used to be on your email list, or they used to be on your text list.
Effect.
It's a win back. Yeah. The stat, actually, it's kind of interesting. Of all the subscribers that we've helped opt in, at least recently, the percentage of reactivated was 6%. So it's not nothing. It's actually like a pretty
gorgeous.
kind of a big number. It's not double digits, but it's 6%. And so those are people that are like, I used to be on the list, I turned off for whatever reason, and because of this amazing social
emails aren't working for the win backs, SMS aren't working, have your social activity play a part here. That's very exciting. I haven't thought about that one.
Yeah. There's also like a lot of, just kind of riffing on this, there's a surprising number. I don't have an exact stat, but I'll tell you it's a big number of existing customers that are not and never have been subscribed to SMS marketing. Email, not so much, but especially depending on how the brand enables and displays the TCPA opt-in in their checkout flows. Many customers are never on the SMS list, which was surprising to me when I first got started. So this platform is not just about new customers. That's a huge part of the focus, but it's also about retention, because you can get people into all of your marketing channels and properly communicate to them, even if they already were a customer in the past.
And on the topic of retention, talk to me a little bit about, and then after this question, we can go straight into the live demo, because I think people are probably buzzing, wanting to see it. Talk to me quickly about the retention value of someone coming from social channels compared to someone you would capture on your store directly coming from paid media. Because I know there's a negative rep or reputation around, capturing people with giveaways. It's usually a low quality or low intent subscriber that basically enters your database. So it might hurt your revenue per profile or per user. It might hurt your email deliverability. It might just be a waste of time capturing people with giveaways on socials, because the retention value and the revenue you can squeeze out of them are just too restricted. What have you seen in the market and with people you have serviced with HiTide?
Yeah, it's interesting. So giveaways have, especially for traditional kind of like lead generation, like lowest possible cost per lead generation, they tend to have a bad rap because many brands have experimented with giveaways in the past where they're getting a lot of low intent people in. And when you dig a little deeper, you realize it's not about the kind of offer format, because a giveaway is really just an offer format, right? You get an entry in exchange for opting into text or emails, or it may be positioned slightly differently and maybe legally slightly different than that. But that's kind of the overall premise. If you talk to a brand that's run a giveaway in the past and had a really bad experience, like something like you just described, hey, we got 10,000 leads and we're really excited, and we got 2 sales out of those leads, like over the next 90 days or whatever. And you ask them about the giveaway. It's usually a problem with reaching an audience that doesn't actually care about the brand. So a very common giveaway type, especially like a couple years ago, I think it's a little less common now, but to me, these giant collaborative
sweepstakes
giveaways. Yes, think like a baby giveaway Instagram profile with everything you
get your friend or your mother to sign up and enter. Yep,
plus $1,000 Target gift card or whatever. And there's 20 brands involved in that campaign. Each is a tiny little logo. The consumer has no effing idea who's involved in this campaign. They sign up because they see an amazing kind of offer, and they're like, hey, why not? All I have to do is subscribe. And then a week later, everyone shares the list via CSV. They upload it into their Klaviyo. 2 weeks later, the first welcome flow comes out, and they're like,
who's
Jesse's 5%. Diaper company? Yeah, they're like, I never signed up for that.
Okay, that's a very good distinction to make. Like you say, there's a brand affinity and connection on social channels because you are following them, you are engaging with them potentially. So it's a much more high intent, educated or fan loyal audience. And if you bring them into your ESP, they've already been nurtured to some extent.
Here's the comparison. So, like on the flip side, exactly what you just described. Imagine now, think about the baby example. 20 brands, no one has any idea who's involved. Maybe they remember one of the brands, and half of them are going to get reported for spam. Yeah. On the flip side, imagine you're a consumer, and you have been, had your eye on the, spring 2025 collection of this hot fashion company that you're following, and you're getting ready for spring break or whatever. You're starting to think about shopping. All of a sudden you're browsing their feed and you're like, oh, they're actually giving away 3 pieces from their new collection to people that sign up to get a text when that new collection is available. So okay, not only am I going to get the value of potentially getting some cool free stuff that I actually want and that I'm already browsing for, but I'm also getting a text when the thing that I want to buy anyway, or I'm thinking about buying, is available. And now that's a much different story, and those conversion rates can be quite impressive compared
like
to,
you say, you almost set the stage for what will happen after the giveaway. And if someone engages or opts into that, they pretty much know what they're getting. Versus,
nailed
like you
it.
said, the
You
cold
nailed it.
sweepstakes where I just want to win this one thing and be off.
Exactly.
It's very
And
interesting that you
they need to be
say,
interested in the brand already. We can
good one to
capture
consider.
demands.
And I think that makes it a lot easier to layer or stack giveaways with, product drops and, like you say, free shipping incentives, and not just keep it a one-track approach. Because I'm sure if you only stick with giveaways, that's potentially not the right way to do it. You can stack it, and 1 week run with a giveaway, the next week try something else. Makes it super exciting. And tell me, can you also A/B test different incentives? Correct?
You can, but not in a traditional A/B test way for organic. You can test,
run it 1 week, and then the next week you try something else, and you just kind of see the uplift or uptick on this particular campaign types.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we'll do not A/B testing, but really just like offer testing, where we'll help brands change the messaging. Should I offer in my bio? Should I offer 15% off if you DM me, or should I offer a secret
placement of it? Really,
exactly. Where that changes, though, everything that HiTide does is compatible with Meta ads. So when it comes to ads, of course, you can do elaborate A, B, C, D, E, F, G testing. Everything is. Everything is doable when it comes to ads, which is a different strategy, but makes for more efficient testing.
Got it. Roger that. Very cool. Okay, enough about all these, just talking about it. Show this, if you can maybe just share your screen, show us a bit of the back end. I know you've got a case study or two you maybe want to share. I think people are dying to know what it looks like in the back end.
What it looks like. Cool. All right, so I want to show you very quickly this Klaviyo and HiTide case study with an amazing brand called Freedom Ravewear. Freedom Ravewear, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so if you are like me, you haven't been to an EDM festival, and you can't imagine what prep goes into showing up to an EDM festival. But if
not
you're
giving away your age, there's no way.
Yeah, exactly. If you're into this sort of thing, you'll know that a lot of the fun of the festival is deciding what to wear, and Freedom Ravewear is kind of the go-to place for EDM festival, electronic music festival people that want to get dressed up in crazy outfits and enjoy their time. Not just that, but that's one of their main audiences. And what we did with Freedom Ravewear, which is a really good, easy kind of visual example. I think we've run probably hundreds of campaigns with them at this point, but this example you see on screen is really simple and easy to understand. What they published was a collab campaign around a collection that was dropping with one of the influencers they worked with. And they had a number of different creatives. The one on the left is the story, and it asks the user if they're interested in getting early access to this collection to drop this little, what would you say that guy is? A devil? Something,
little monster thingy, tribe monster or something.
Something scary, exactly. So if you're in this community, you probably know where that emoji is. You can reply to the story. And on the right-hand side, starting now, is the consumer experience. If you want first dibs on the product, drop your phone number below to sign up for texts. And HiTide will then present the TCPA compliance, which you see with that little I agree button, and send people right into Klaviyo with a text to join link in this case. Could be a reply Y join, could be a text to join. The point is a really short back and forth with the user, really clear value.
Intuitive.
And they've ended up on the list. So let's see. I recall that this one was kind of measured on revenue per SMS subscriber. So you can see from this one, 60% of the people that started that flow ended up subscribing. 51% of them were not already on the list. And then of the subscribers, there was $24 of revenue per SMS subscriber.
That's great. And the AOV could be something close to, $24 anyway. So they're probably hitting their AOV numbers anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I think the AOV was a little higher on this one, but because this is, I believe this figure is actually of total subscribers collected. So imagine like half of them ended up purchasing. Maybe the AOV was like $48 or something. I don't recall. But the point is, this was an extremely high performing campaign, and it's really simple actually. I mean, if you look at the creative, it's like, hey, we're dropping this product that you already want. Let's just make sure you know when it's available, and let's get you signed up without asking you to go find a link in the bio and click through to the website and like do all this other stuff. Like, you already want the product. Let's just grab your phone number and make sure you're clear that you're signing up for text, and then we're good to go.
Smart. Very smart. I love it.
Yeah.
And like I said, you push this over to your ESP and you can take the magic from there.
Exactly. And then HiTide is, that's the user experience. The HiTide software is what you would imagine. There's a bunch of analytics on how your campaigns are performing. We actually pull back all the revenue data from Shopify automatically. And there's a bunch of really interesting differentiation, but the core of it is you're going to launch more social campaigns. You're going to get really high intent subscribers and grow revenue.
Tell me, setting something up, a campaign like that, what is the duration? Is it a quick 5-minute job, 2-hour job? What are we looking at in terms of the time invested in getting that up and running?
It should be about 60 seconds. So
60 seconds.
The HiTide side is very easy. You're deciding what you want to trigger a direct message. So in that case, it was that little monster emoji. And then you're writing a direct message, which would say, in their case, like, hey, if you want first dibs, what's your phone number? And then we will have at that point already integrated into Klaviyo, which is a couple clicks. You have probably a subscriber link already set up inside of HiTide. And so the HiTide configuration can literally be like a minute. Most of the work, and it's usually not a ton of work, but most of the work will be creating the content, creating that story, making sure there's that call to action at the bottom that's really clear. And then you're just posting as you normally do, and we'll have set up the...
It's like you say, people are creating these campaign assets anyways. So just rework it slightly, repurpose it, off you go.
Yeah, so instead of saying like, go to our link in our bio to find out
something very frictionless. Oh.
Exactly, and the beauty is...
Okay, listen, thanks for sharing that. Appreciate everything, seeing it in action. It's a pretty neat little GIF motion that you've got there. How can people get started? Is there a free trial here? Can people reach out to you guys? What does that look like to get this ball rolling for people?
Yeah, so number one, obviously we're connected, and so if you're working with Magnet Monsters, we will be easily able to get in touch, and we also actually have a nice little free trial offer that's exclusive to you guys. So kind of ask about it. And if not, make sure you mention that you kind of saw us on the pod and go to either gohitide.com. HiTide is HITIDE. Or you can find me on LinkedIn. My last name is Clemmens, so it's Jesse Clemmens, CLEMMENS. I'm also on Twitter, and if you Google me, you'll probably find us.
It's beautiful. Appreciate your time, and people get started. Social SMS/email list growth is definitely something more people need to do, especially since paid acquisition is becoming so expensive. So use social channels, use your big following. It's almost a no-brainer. Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate your time, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you so much. Fun to talk to you today.
Cheers, my man.
Bye.